Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name's Adam, and as always, I'm joined by Baker, whose wildcard is active. How you feeling, mate?
I feel good. Like you feel like you're doing something. Like before the results come in, you're like, I'm doing something here. This is going to be good. I mean, it doesn't always. It very rarely plays out that way. And it's kind of almost a little bit weird to do. I suppose first wild card. You're not normally playing it into doubles, are you, and stuff like that. But it's because there's so many chips at the start of the season. You are like, I've never had to do a first wild card where I'm trying to think about my bench boost window.
No.
That's a weird experience. That's a really weird experience of something that we've never really had to do before. Where it's like, oh, I've got to try and plan for a bench boost. I want to get that tomorrow. I want to get that done next week. But obviously, it's like 2 weeks before that rolls in. So then it's like, well, maybe it won't roll in. Maybe we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I just realised as you came in there, I was listening for the audio listeners. Hopefully, they may have noticed it, but we've done a little bit of sound upgradage. Hopefully, sound a little bit better for you. So that's all good.
Took a
I
bit
can
of
hear it in your
time.
voice.
It
How
took a
good it
bit of
is.
time. Yeah. I mean, and that's it. So you messaged me last week after, or even like Sunday night or Monday morning, you messaged me, you were like, mate, audio's good. And I was like, okay, fine. I'll listen to it back. Because normally I just watch it back on YouTube and just listen and it's
Yeah,
whatever. If I want to QC it or something like that, or if I want to remember what I said. But like the audio was just so clean. It was crazy. So
yeah. New bit
yeah,
of kit.
pretty happy. Shout out to Elgato Stream Deck Plus
Wouldn't
and
it be good
the
if one day we
XLR dock.
shouted these people out and they were giving us stuff because we're just
It's
still
all good.
paying full
No.
price?
It's all good. It's all good. We shout it out, and eventually it'll come to us. That's all good, mate. It's all good.
Yeah. Wildcard active.
Wild card active.
Yeah, I feel what I'm quite pleased about, I guess, was Sunday night. I just came away thinking we've learned a lot this weekend and over the last couple of weeks. We learned enough. We learned enough that a lot of people pressed the button in six, and I felt we learned more last weekend, and then we've learned a little bit more during the week. And yeah, nothing's really put me off. So I've definitely gone early, haven't I? There's a lot of people going to be wildcarding in eight, I think. And there's always a danger, isn't there, if you're wildcarding in six, wildcarding in seven, that you're like, oh God, things change and suddenly I'm behind. But I just feel like this season, because of the amount of chips, because it's not just the amount of chips, isn't it? It's like we have sort of double the chips, but then we've also got those five transfers. So it's not like a wild card now where you're like, oh my God, is I'm not going to wild card again till 30. I think on this wild card I've made 10 changes to my 15 that I've got. Now, that's not that many. It really isn't that many. Sometimes normally I think I'd normally be like 12, 13 guys. That's quite often. And some of it's just little things as well, which I didn't really have to do. So it did sort of say to me, like, when that five comes rolling around again, and it's not necessarily that we use those five, does it? But it's that we're not going to carry anything through to that five. So we're going to keep tinkering and using it. I like the idea that I've got 6 or 7. Well, what we got? 8, 9 weeks, 10 weeks
Nine,
to
10 weeks
nine.
until we have to use until we use the
10
five
weeks we go back
transfers.
to five.
It's interesting.
So
It's
we've got
interesting you've said that because like already when I look at like your wildcard draft and the information we spoke about, I don't think West Ham's new information, but like if Juve is just going to slap those balls in from everywhere, then like assists can happen. We saw. I think we've got a bit more information on Arsenal, a bit more information on Newcastle in particular. So
yeah,
already I'm looking, and I don't have Palace, and already because I wasn't expecting Salah back so quickly, and I wasn't expecting to see him last week. So already I'm thinking, right, well, there's like 3 teams plus a player that I'm not sure whether I should have or not. And then I also feel because I didn't have Gabriel last week, I definitely feel like I missed. Obviously, I mean, he scores 13 points, so I feel like I missed something there when
yeah.
I had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to have him. Like, there's no excuse for why I didn't have him. Granted, I've got Saka, but yeah, that just feels like I've done something wrong. So I'm in a world where I'm happy. Like I've had a pretty relaxed week, FPL wise, not FPL, non-FPL bit crazy, but FPL wise, pretty relaxed. Haven't done much. Haven't thought about doing anything, but I am also in between kind of rolling / two transfers, because it's like, do I correct the mistake that I made last week by not having Semenyo, not having Gabriel, Bruno and Romero to Gabriel and Semenyo, real easy. Like that's a real easy move. But
also, if Romero's fine, Bruno and Romero are absolutely fine this week, and therefore is two free
I think,
transfers.
and we can talk about that as we talk through like what happened during Europe and stuff. We've got some takes there, I'm sure.
ABH in the chat just asked, "What am I drinking?" And Peter knows. Never say die whiskey. Never say die whiskey. We can start. We can announce.
We can start there. We can start there. So those... if you want to join us and be part of the games that we have over on the Discord, you can come and join us at patreon.com/Above Average FPL. And as you can see right there on screen, Beat Baker's September winner was drawn today. I'll leave it over to you, mate.
Yeah, there were 61 people, I think, in the draw. So stick them all on the wheel, spin it around. A bit of a change this year from last year. So last year, what we said was only UK guys could win it. This year, we're offering it to anybody. However, we can only send it to a UK address. So, but there's plenty of people that play this game that have associations to the UK in one form or another. Hence, that's why they love the Premier League. So most places have somewhere they can send it. So Wellesley, who we talk about it all the time. Get in, give yourself a chance, especially if I'm not doing very well, and you got a chance to get in the hat. First month in the Patreon immediately pays for itself for a couple of years, really, effectively, for what it is in the bottle of whiskey.
6th of September.
Amazing.
6th of September, Wellesley joined?
Yeah, been in 4 weeks.
Amazing.
So, shout out to Never Say Die, guys.
Shout out to Never Say Die. Shout out to everyone that joined us in September. So, I will just very quickly go through the list. So, Liam H, Andrew Kemp, David F, Liam, different Liam, Alfie, FPL Pasty, Greg Papas, Jack, Chris Smith, Andrew Callanan, David Wells, shout out to you, and Phil Potter joined us in September. Shout out to you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying it in the Discord, and hopefully a few more will come and join us soon. Last Man Standing is coming to an end as well, so we're going to be back in there. Blackjack's almost finished as well, so plenty going on.
Yeah, and so it's only 3 game weeks in October. And I'm on Wildcard. So I've got a chance to try and knock a few guys out. So if you're joining me and you're on Wildcard during the month of like 7, 8, 9, and especially if you're lining up a bench boost as well, you're really in with a chance.
Definitely. We've got to say thank you and a shout out to our supporter, our sponsor, Dan Hybel. So Crypto Block Dan, as he's better known. If you're interested in crypto, the blockchain, he is the guy with all the advice, all the information. He's an angel investor. He worked in Web3 gaming. He collects NFTs. He's been in the game since 2012. You can head over to hubble.social/Dan Hybel and you can check him out there and grab some of his time. 15 minutes for $40. I'm sure that'll be the best $40 that you will spend. So shout out to Dan. And then a very quick shout out to the guys who are smashing it in our mini leagues. So the Above Average FPL main league. Shout out to Harrison Forrest, 454 points with a triple cap Haaland last week. Carl Wimberg, 453. Dyer has dropped down to 3rd in 445. Jan Remy Nielsen, 439. And John Hilton, 438. Well done to you guys. And over in our Patreon league, Liam Herridge, top, 421 points. John Edgar, 413. Caroline, who won the manager of the month this month. So Caroline with 95 points this week. 3rd in the league at the moment, 411. Alex Walshy, 410. And Banksy Banks with the team name Banksy, like nice and original, 398 points.
All the banks.
All the banks.
Yeah, a lot of people in it getting like 100 points ahead of you already. I like, blimey.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
let's talk about Mo. Let's talk about Mo. Because obviously, like, he gets a rest in midweek, gets a full rest. And that was kind of like my last couple of things. So on Tuesday, he gets the rest, and it was like, do one of the things of do you go wildcard or not is do you try and fit the Mo and Haaland in? I'm it's likely to bite me because Chelsea have got no defenders, but I just felt really comfortable. That's one of the things you're trying to tick off. And how quickly do I think I'm going to need him back? And do I see myself completely breaking my team to take him, get him back? I am going to leave myself options. I think, both of us have options with some higher priced attackers to get to him if we need to. But I felt really comfortable with it. And then literally just before we started this pod, our boy Rob T drops some fire graphics. So let's do those.
Is he washed?
I mean, you think he is. You've been saying he's washed all season. I've been trying to protest it mainly because I've still had him.
Well, he's been getting some points, but he's been dog shit like the whole season. That's quite
analysis.
Well, it doesn't need any more than that. He's been crap. He's like this tells a story. Like he had like one decent chance against Bournemouth. He had one decent chance the game after that, and he scored a pen. I mean, like this is his current. So for people listening, from the first 6 game weeks, now small game week, small sample size alert here, but non-penalty XG 0.15 per game. His XG plus A, his non-penalty XGA or whatever, XGI, 0.28, and 1.67 shots per 90. So his previous 6 game low in the last 5 years was 0.17, 0.33 non-pen XG and assists, and 2 shots per 90, obviously at different times. So he's literally the worst in a 6 game sample. He's literally the worst he's been in 5 years.
Yeah, and I know you say short game sample, but it's not really, because what you're doing is we've only had 6 game weeks, so you've got one defined sample of this is all we've got versus at any point in the 6 weeks. So what the chances that that's defined sample of just these opening 6 weeks is lower than any period. So dropping one, how like when you're trying to, claim that someone's good, and what you'd normally do is like, oh, I'll just, by the way, between game weeks 3 and 11, when someone says that stuff, they're cherry picking. They're going to drop off that he scored a hat trick in game week 2. We've only got these 6 games to play with. You compare them to any point in his previous career with Liverpool, this is worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's 150 odd sets of 6, 38s, and there's about like 32 times 5 is 160. There's 160 data samples here, basically, because it shifts, right? It's not just the lowest 6 games, but it's the rolling 6 games. So,
yep.
If it crosses seasons, it's even more. But yeah, it's bad for him. It's bad for him, and I mean, in this second graphic, it's quite stark. It's quite stark because so
this is across the bottom, season to season, and on the left, the rolling non-pen XG and XA per 90. So it will go up and down, up and down, up and down. That lowest it's been was in his first season. It's a long time ago. But if we compare it to at sort of a similar point this time last year, you've got that.
It's the first dot. Every single one is the first dot, right? So it is broken up into specific seasons. So the first dot of each season. So 2021, he was like 0.7. 21-22, he was like 0.9 at this point that season. 22-23, about 0.7. 23-24, about 0.75 by the looks of it. And again, 0.75 in 24-25. And he's at 0.28. 28. Yes. Like, he's is that 3 times worse? I don't know. But it's bad, right? And what I think is worse, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's a condition of Salah as much as it is the players around the ability of the players around him to actually score goals. I think it's a combination of both. Like, I feel like his goal share is going to naturally reduce, and I think that's been evident. But I also think like Liverpool's attack hasn't been as good as it has done in previous seasons. So
I think it's really hard to argue any of that. And I think what we're also seeing, remember the period of time last season when it's about game week 9 onwards, wasn't it? Was the prime time when Haaland sort of dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
And I remember we had John McKenzie on a number of times early on in that season. You know, we had him on after like the first international break, didn't it? And he started telling us about the fact that Jota was doing incredible work as the sort of false nine and enabling Salah and Diaz to get behind and almost become an extra midfielder for him. We then talked again, almost like in the next international break, and he was talking to us about City, and he was talking about the fact that City were just so open to transitional attacks that it suddenly became when a team's open to transitional attacks, some of the things that happen is it's easier to defend the centre forward because actually what you can do is almost collapsing in yourself a little bit, knowing that 3 or 4 times a game you will spring, and those springs will be suddenly 3-on-3.
Yeah.
And I can feel that really similar with what we're seeing from this Liverpool team. Every single game you watch, there are 3 or 4 times at least where it's suddenly, well, that's why Virgil's got so many DEFCON, because it's literally one man defense against it.
Yeah.
And the worse you become at being able to defend those counter attacks, being able to take it against those transitions, you actually then start to really nullify some of the attack piece, because actually you know that at some point you get that chance, you can really sit in so much easier than you've ever done before. And that's a problem. Like he does need to make some brave decisions around, you probably can't play Szoboszlai and Wirtz. They both kind of slow the ball down a little bit. They both want time. They want to be a playmaker effectively. I don't actually think playing one at right back and one in attacking midfield actually works either. Like, I think you've almost got to say, I have one of them, I don't have both of them on that pitch. It's a problem for them.
It's probably a problem as well, is that Wirtz is so high, is slowing it down as high up the pitch as he is. And there's been comments in the chat about like the consistency that Salah in the past has had with Trent. I think that's a factor, is that the profile of both of the right backs that they're playing with, or all three of them, whether it be Szoboszlai, Bradley, or Frimpong, very, very different to the way that Trent plays the game. Like, you could say Szoboszlai and Trent have similar profiles in their sort of passing range, but you know, despite that, Trent does have defensive mindset in his head just from playing there his entire life, right? So it is just a completely different setup for him.
And he's just almost impossible to mark in a way, Trent, because if he drops in, you can't go with him. If he joins and overlaps, you're stuffed. Like if he drops inside, which he did in those last couple of seasons, he started dropping inside, not just having the ability to drop deep or go over. But like, he has 3 ways in which he can do, whether it's in deep or the overlap. It's really hard to defend against that triple threat of attack. Like, Szoboszlai can't do all 3.
I would say weirdly, I think Frimpong's the best to do that. And that's why I kept saying, like, he's got to be first choice. Well, I was saying he is first choice, but for me, he's got to be first choice because he's much better at going around the outside than Bradley is. He's got the ability that he can come inside when he needs to, like Bradley does more. He's not going to hover around that 10 spot where Bradley kind of likes, because Bradley's again been cultured and brought up with this like Trent role model. Like, I need to play like this. But Frimpong's come in and is like, no, I'm just going to continue to bomb around the outside, or I'll go inside, I'll do what I like. I can be wherever.
The madness is, they should have probably just got back Jordan Henderson. Well, they genuinely, it's not the world's stupidest idea. Or at least try to redefine that profile, because what Henderson allowed in those early days of Trent really bombing on, which is what you really want to see from Frimpong, is the guy that picks up the slack and drops in at that almost at that right back position that then stops you from being counter-attacked. Yeah. And that they aren't doing that. Now, what Slot could learn from Pep from last season is what he then ended up doing was almost playing 2 banks of 3. In that one of the defenders drops in and they play a 3 at the back, and then you have 3 centre midfielders that also have a lot of the ball, and then that enables those wingers to carry on. And I think Frimpong could be one of those. But Mo then becomes a problem like it still is a weird world. Like Frimpong obviously played in midweek, but he played as a winger, and it's like, well, what do you do with Mo?
Yeah.
It's it's a strange thing to try and work out. They'll work it out at some point, and then we can react. But I don't think you need to be like, I don't think you need to be first on it now, because it's even if it happens once, I'm not sure exactly it's going to happen next time. You know, I really think you can be 2 or 3 times of seeing how this plays out, and ownership's just dropping, continually dropping. Nobody's captain Mo Salah this weekend,
No.
despite the fact that Chelsea got no defenders. Nobody's captain him,
No.
and then he's going to probably be what? He's going to be overall. Well, he's 40% owned in the entire game.
Yeah, just dead
But
teams, though, right?
realistically, yeah, realistically, top 3-4 million. I wouldn't be surprised if when live FPL refreshes on the weekend, if it says something like 25, 26%.
Yeah, and if this continues, then we'll surpass the ones that have been getting like the fruits of his first few weeks, the first 2 or 3 weeks.
You don't really mind taking a 10-pointer from a £14.5 million guy that's 26%.
No, of course not.
You mind it when it was like Chris Wood last season and he was getting like 9-pointers and he was 30% owned and he's 7 million, because you've also got a 7 million guy and it's like, well, he's an every other game scorer too. But this 14 million guy, we can spend that money and we will spend that money, and you end up with good assets that it's slightly more like you've got to pick bad guys for it to be unrealistic that you're going to just concede, well, what effectively is about 3 effective points against you for a haul. You can find ways because ownership is so well spread at the moment that all you've got to do is, from your 14 million quid, is even just get an assist, and the Mo one won't hurt you.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah, for me, it's not on the menu, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking about it, no matter what he does, because also I just don't think the fixtures are that great. I really don't. It's obviously Chelsea. Now we could say this: Chelsea away, no centre backs, could be. Man United at home, very much.
It's a Mo fixture, isn't it?
It's a Mo fixture historically, but maybe this isn't that Mo. It's Brentford away. Well, we'll see. They did a good. I expected Man United to do quite a bit of damage against Brentford, but I thought Brentford pretty good. Then it's Villa, City, Forest. I just think you can wait till 12.
Yeah.
Wait till Ange. Wait till Ange in 12. Work it out then.
I mean, you've got plenty now in Arsenal guys, City guys, Chelsea guys, Man U guys. They're all there that you can use your money on, which are these like mid-priced midfielders where you could better use your money rather than putting it into a Salah and I don't know, you could have a Salah in Dewsbury Hall for, I don't know, a Saka and a Bumo, right? Basically. Saka and a Bruno.
Yeah.
Saka and Bruno is Salah and Dewsbury Hall, man. That's stupid.
Yeah. Or just Saka Gyökeres.
Or Saka Gyökeres, yeah. Or Saka Gyökeres, dude, yeah.
We're not playing 8 attackers every week, so do it that way and have the cheapo behind it. Like and like you say, that the guys that sort of emerged, the Paqueta, SARS, back now. We've got Gordon suddenly on the menu. We've got loads of guys.
You're just revealing your wildcard one by one.
One by one.
Should we look at some games?
Yeah.
So Gameweek 7, as always, shout out to Rob T for the graphics on this one. As usual, we will be looking for teams that are projected to score more than 2 goals and with a better than 40% chance, say 50 then, 40% chance of a clean sheet. I say 50 because my eyes are just like drawn straight to that Arsenal fixture. Can I just on just one thing on Arsenal? You said something in the Patreon video which made me like.
Are you going to bring up the fact that I said we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I knew you were going to have to bring that up. I knew you weren't going to let that slide.
Absolutely not. Please
Are you doing
explain.
this to just drive traffic to the Patreon video? That yes, on the Patreon video. So the way I'm going to try and defend myself was I was very much looking at Eze and
I should do I
was
should do this. I should put you here.
God. Look at the big screen and make me feel
I'm
terrible.
kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was watching Eze. I was looking at the good stuff of it, and it did the little turn in the in the center circle and turn with the ball. And I think I said something like, "And we spread it wide from here." And I was like, "Oh God, what have I just said?" And it was ticking at me. I did have to address it on the video, but honestly, I feel like I'm going red now just thinking about it. I said "we" when talking about Arsenal. It's bad. Should
Bad. To
put
be
the
fair, I
sunglasses.
could see it immediately. You immediately did. You did recant and correct yourself.
Oh
But
yeah, I knew I'd done it. I knew I'd done it
you
immediately
were just
after. I
talking
was like,
I mean, you were just talking it. You know, at the game as it was happening, and you were talking as if
I
he was
did
your
it.
player in your team, and you did it. Yeah.
I did it. I did it. I did it.
Anyway,
Um.
good fixture
Anyway,
this
coming
week.
back to that, yeah, yeah, it is a good fixture. It's a really good fixture. So you've got two teams around the 2% in Man United and Man City. We then drop down significantly. Like 1.8 suddenly is like nowhere near 2. It's a 2-1 type fixture rather than like a 3-4-0. Then Arsenal is 2.56. Saka, Eze have had clean rest. Timber has had full rest from this one. How you own
Saka and
Gyökeres and
Raya.
Saka?
No, I don't own
Soccer.
Gyökeres.
You own Saka and Raya. How tempted are you then to captain Saka over Erling Haaland this week?
To be honest, like the rest in midweek for me was good, and I felt like when last week he came off after 70, and I think a lot of people went, "Oh, minutes risk," and I was like, "No, that's just fitness build up for me. It's fitness build up with a game in midweek if they needed him." You know, just back from an injury, and the guy that, you know, in order to make sure he's back from injury properly, I guess they would have tried to use him and Madueke together, but it was a case of what Madueke's out for months now because of this injury, and we've got to throw him back in. So 70 minutes was good for him for last week. The rest is obviously good. Comes on, gets a goal, good, and so I think he's a really, really good captain option. I still think I will captain Haaland this week.
Yeah,
just think
and
that
same.
just the goal share more than anything.
It's the goal share. It gets the breaks in midweek, and then he's so angry. I'm pissed. You're like angry Haaland on it, smashing it. Just in a different world at the moment for me that I can't look past it. But yeah, I'm very comfortable. So you know, I've always been double Arsenal attack for looking at this week. Is I didn't fancy it in the defence, despite the fact. Look at the odds, 51%. 51%.
All I've got is the
nuts.
keeper. Like, this is the stupid thing as well, is I feel like actually, you know, it's not even about Gabriel for me. It's actually like with Raya, I'm going to lose. Like, I just lose every time they clean. Every single time.
What about losing? Because they're still not huge percentages. They really aren't. But are you really gaining? Are you really gaining from it? And that's just so much. That's where you're like, not so sure.
And if I do that, then I might as well take Romero down to a nothing, like a DEFCON whatever, and then, you know, upgrade the attack rather than like just softening the money a little bit.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. It is weird. But what we do know, they've got more competition at the back than they've ever had. They've got Mosquera now, and he's so competent. You know, the fact that he starts him over Saliba last week, obviously, the second anything happened with Gabriel, it was like, just get him off. I'm sure Gabriel is fine. It was all weird at what people were saying. Like, I felt like he was hurt his jaw. He was doing sort of weird like gurning almost to an extent that made me look like I thought that maybe it was the jaw, but then another people saying it's the shoulder. Someone was saying chest or something like that, and I saw all sorts of stuff. But I felt like it just cracked its jaw and went off for it. But they don't have to necessarily play him in any week now. Mascara's looks so good. Then you've obviously got. I thought Miles Skelly was brilliant when he came in on. So Miles Skelly and Calafiori, who knows? And then Ben White obviously starts. So it could be we're gonna. I think whichever defender you've got, Raya will definitely play every week. The others, there will definitely be times where they miss out. The one thing I do think is when it's a centre back, I was about to say maybe they don't cameo, but Busquets just come on. Previous game, Saliba didn't start, he came on. So you can't really guarantee that either.
If
I
it
don't
works
think
for
it's
them, I think if anything
panic.
goes wrong, though, like if anything goes wrong, they'll probably just revert back to
Mm,
like a no nonsense. Like these are the best four,
yeah.
because
And I
people
still
have,
think they do know the best four. I still think it is Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. I think they're the best four. But as they start to approach more and more easier games, hence why they've got 40-50% clean sheet odds, the drop off now is just not what it was. I still think Timber is so comfortably first choice at right back. When I was watching the game back on the Patreon video the other day, the number of times, and I think he just works really well with Saka. Saka is really good at occasionally like holding his line, and especially when he's being sort of double marked, and Timber just clears off at centre forward and does really really good stuff on that. And then when the ball goes the other side, Timber holds his line, so and Saka comes inside. Like they actually make it really hard to mark by just switching inside. And now I think Timber's still really good. I'd be over the moon on Wildcard if Gabriel is out and told that he's out, and I can go Timber. I wouldn't hold Gabriel on Wildcard. I wouldn't go, I'm going to have Gabriel, I'm going to play someone else and stick Gabriel on the bench. I'd just go Timber because I think Timber, I think they'll likely play White in midweek games. So, yes, maybe in that 13, 14, 15, when we got like our first 3 games in a week in the Premier League, yes, I don't think you'll get all of those with Timber. But I think the upside's there. He's going to score goals. He's going to score goals. Mister Absolute sitter, really, in that Newcastle one. Good save by Pope, but he scores that, and he's scored already this season. He's going to score goals. I like Timber. Haaland
Newcastle or Haaland cap, yeah. So Haaland cap, like it's just so okay. So the argument just goes back to, and it will be the same every week until it's not, right? Is there any other player that you think will get more than 1 XG in a game? Like, it just feels like another game where we'll just pick up another 1 XG and just march on through. The only thing I wonder is minutes. Now, it's a weird one on minutes because obviously he comes off against Arsenal and is obviously pissed off about that, whatever. And then he scores what he does last week and then scores in midweek twice as well. Like, is it a case of Pep wanting to just sort of not rein him in a little bit, or does he need him to be this angry all the time? I don't know. Is he going to get tired out? Like he's built different. Like he's literally built different. There's no other athlete like him in the league at his size and his pace and like what he does on the pitch. It's difficult to assess because like there's lots of players that will do 10, 11, 12 kilometers in a game. Like he'll do about 5, 6, 7 probably, but most of them are sprints, right?
I just think in general we probably overplay. And I did this last week, and none of it was facts. But my general view is we overplay rotation before international breaks. I think Premier League managers are like, if he gets a knock, then he just doesn't go on international breaks. Or if he looks a bit like he's, if he limps off a little bit, fantastic. I just won't send him. I think they're very keen to play a guy and take him off with 15, 20 minutes to go and say, go on, when you come off, just have a little limp and don't go away on these things. But they're not thinking about, well, I'm going to be worried if he's in the red zone for the next game, are they? They're
No.
not thinking that. They're like, let him go away, let him test in the red zone, tell him before he comes, you must not play the first of those 2 games. Don't worry about it. I just think the Premier League is so important now that they will prioritise it. I think we'll have to talk about Tottenham and talk about Richarlison, because I think that's a similar conversation. But I just feel that managers will do the best for them this weekend, and players have to be not in a position to be able to play for this. If they're unless they're full red zone, can't play, I think you roll them out this weekend. I think just about everyone will. Yeah, if I was looking at other players that might get more than 1 XG, Ollie Watkins is obviously there. You expect him to get a huge, proportion of that, but he started again tonight, and they're playing tonight. Thursday, Sunday turnaround. I guess Haaland play Wednesday. Well, it's Wednesday, Sunday turnaround actually, so that's better. But
Better,
Thursday,
yeah.
Sunday turnaround, it's hard to back. But if you've got Ollie Watkins, you're looking forward to this weekend. Would I cap him? No. And obviously the fact that Gyökeres played 90 minutes.
I was going to say, is that not Marino just starting up front waiting to happen? Maybe.
I don't think starting up front, but I do think I would be surprised if he played more than 75 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised. I think it becomes obvious. A lot of people are thinking about, I'll do a punt this week before I wildcard in 8. Saka just clearly becomes the more obvious punt to me than Gyökeres.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on then. Let's talk about Spurs then. Obviously, no Romero in the week, and a pretty abject performance overall. I will say that I will die on this hill. Those pitches are not the same. So, it's difficult to assess how good we were going to be on that pitch, and we got a result and whatever. But the fact that Romero didn't travel was, when they say precaution, it's like, I do not want to risk this grass.
I also think that Bodo are really good.
They're also really good.
They are really good, and they've beaten many a team that are about to go there. Like, they are good, and they will run you round on that pitch. It's a combination of the pitch is unusual, but it's not unusual to them, and they're good.
Yeah, exactly.
All of that makes it difficult reads, but I do think we are relatively easy to work out at the moment. Richarlison looked knackered at the end of that game. He looked shattered. But it was Tuesday night, and this is Saturday. Do I expect him to start the game on Saturday? I think it has to, because I think Tell was so bad. Like every time he's played up front on his own, it just feels like he's not a striker. And this is not an easy game. Leeds are tough. So I think you've got to start Richarlison this week, surely.
Yes. Yeah, I've got no concerns. I've got no concerns there. And I mean, as much as Leeds will stick it about us. I mean, again, I still think this is a fixture we need to look at Spurs and say this is a game we need to target and we need to do well in. I think we'll do okay in this game. And
I'd snap your hand off for a 2-1 win.
Yeah, that's
snap
reasonable.
Your hand off right now. But and sort of the stats or the predicted goals are somewhere around that 1-1, 2-1. They're actually, I think, as I said on the weekend pod, would I be surprised if this is like a 0-0 or 1-0 either way? Well, it actually suggests neither team's going to clean. It does suggest it's more of a 1-1 stroke 2-1 type game. I think that's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Any other take? Well, let's talk about United, because Sunderland are good. Mukiele was rumoured that he was going to be injured. There was lots of reports he's injured, but Reggie has said that he's not. So
It's
If you've
I
got
think Sunderland.
if you've got United guys, you play them, don't you? If you've got Bruno, you definitely play him.
Yep. I think it's a good fixture for United. United's attack is still good. United's attack is still good. Like, people are saying that, you know, they're not good. I mean, their finishing has been poor. Like, they have not performed as well as the chances that they've created. They've also had 3 penalties and only scored 1. But they're getting into the areas where they can win penalties, and they're good at winning penalties. So that's good. Sunderland are still they're an okay team, but they still do ship chances.
Yeah.
So all of that says to me that, like, this is a good fixture for United, and Alderete is staying firmly on my bench.
Yeah.
And I've got Goodmanson ahead of him. Well, maybe I didn't flip that around, but he's in the FPL app. He is ahead of him for me.
Other team we've got to talk about Newcastle. I've given away a little bit. So Gordon is firmly on my wild card. Obviously, he scores the penalties. That helps. Well, it massively helps. But secondly, I was like, oh, well, he's playing Wednesday night. That's not so good. And then I was like, oh, but Forest play Thursday night. Well, that's incredible. I remember what we were like playing Thursday, Sunday, how we were on the Sundays. And then what sealed it for me was when I watched Ange yesterday say, I think Murillo's okay. Basically, we're going to roll him out tomorrow night. And I was like, well, there's no chance they roll him out Thursday and he plays Sunday. Have a guess what's happened? 28 minutes.
Is that all he got today?
28 minutes and subbed off.
Like, I if anyone's what,
how is it tenable? Like, it's the same shit.
the amount of stuff, the amount of shit that you got when you did that Forest pod about Ange, and like it's literally playing out in front of everyone's eyes. And you're just the bitter Tottenham fan, and the Celtic guy was like God's gift to whatever.
How can he do it again?
But like when he was at Spurs, he's talking about blaming like the medical team and stuff like that. Like, it's the same. Is it not just the same advice that he's getting?
It's absurd. So Zinchenko is also now injured.
Perfect.
So it's Morato and the other guy, the big tall guy they got, the Italian lad, Savona. So it'll be, so they'll stick Nico back to left back, Morato, Milenkovic, and play Savona at right back. But these guys are all having to play tonight as well.
Yeah, looks fine. It feels like a good fixture to target.
Yeah,
you've doubled up, haven't you?
I've tripled up.
Oh, you've tripled. Oh, because you got Pope as well.
I've got Pope. I've got Big Dan Burn. And I've got Gordon when we come to it. Big Dan Burn is interesting because what we expect now, Livermento's out for what we know 6 to 8 weeks. These things are normally 8 weeks, which takes it to about what came with 13, 14. It's quite a way away. Is that sort of means Trippier is first choice right back. Now, what I have noticed is that Trippier isn't on all the set pieces because Tonali's become so good at them now, and Tonali's become such a big dog at that club that actually Trippier doesn't even take them all anyway. So I did immediately think, maybe I should have Trippier. Like, is he going to play? But they've obviously got Europe. They've also been a bit more cavalier with their rotations. That's the worry, isn't it, on Newcastle guys? Because they've played one and benched Bruno and Tonali straight after it. It was Bruno Joelinton, wasn't it? Bruno Joelinton. We got benched straight after it. So that is a little worry with Gordon. Like Harvey Barnes is right there. Can come on anytime. Alanga, I thought Alanga had his best game in a Newcastle shirt by miles, but Jacob Murphy's all there. So it's not like they haven't got guys. But Gordon's the talisman, so I'm quite happy to go with it. Burn, I think, will play left back the majority of games. That as long as Trippier's fit, I think Burn will play left back, and they'll play Burn. I think. How was it? Was it Chow? It's not Tior. I want to say Tior, but it's not. It's Chow or something like that.
Yeah, it's just like Chow. Yeah, Chow.
It's like Chow, isn't it?
Like
I've really been
Hangover.
impressed.
Yeah.
Really been impressed. But obviously they've also still got Cher and Botman, so they've got 3 good centre backs. So you stick him there. I don't quite know what they'll do because obviously Trips can't play 3 games a week. So do they play Trips on the weekends and then move it so that Hall plays? So because the better way is you then just switch, don't you? You go a left back as the guy that's going to bomb on, and then play 3 centre backs. Then almost I'd play like Hall and Murphy. Is what I'd probably do is play Hall on one side and Murphy, and you're almost playing like 3 at the back, like a 3-4-3 almost. Or do you play? Yeah, you play Trippier and maybe Elanga on that side when you put him to left back. But obviously, if he goes to left back, he's very unlikely to get DEFCON. He got 9 against Arsenal, but it was against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Do I expect him to? Do I expect him to get DEFCON if he's playing left back against Forest? Not really. He made 5 tackles last night, so I think it's good for his bonus. I think it's potentially good for his assists. It's potentially good for even just getting it. There was a couple of times where he got into the penalty area in the Arsenal game, I noticed, and I was like, yeah, so maybe I'm just going to offset a little bit of DEFCON and hope that we get a little bit of bonus or an assist or jam a goal with him. So I found I just
he also can be he also can just be the target right on these set pieces. And if you're not sure who's going to take the set pieces, it doesn't matter if the same guy is being targeted.
The problem is they've got a 7-foot striker.
This is true. Well, the 7-foot striker that you told me he's only scored 1 goal with his head has now scored 2 more.
Yeah,
he's just great. He's just do you think 7 or 8 yards?
That goal last the Tonali thought he'd scored, and then Volt's like it was mine.
I haven't watched any of the Champions League football.
Have a look. Let me know whether you think it's deliberate or not. Chat can tell us. Comments can tell us. Yeah, it's him. It's basically for me. It's like Dan Burn versus Lacroix, and I've already got Richards. I don't fancy Anderson. I just don't. I've owned him all season. I like it, but now he said Manus is out for another 6-7 weeks or so. Not going to be back probably this month. I just think they'll collapse in on themselves too often. We've seen it with Fulham. One of the reasons why they kept 5 cleans last season is they rarely get away from teams. They've always let them in it. They've always been like, I'm only 1 goal ahead. And when you're only 1 goal ahead, guess what? At some point, the other team get a little run. And before you know it, it's 1-1. So, yeah, that really puts me off Anderson. I just don't see him playing him that often. Plus, I want a bench boost in Gameweek 8, so I don't really want him home to Arsenal.
Yeah, no.
You wouldn't like that.
No. So what else have we got? I mean, we've already spoken about Salah. We know that Chelsea are pretty.
João Pedro?
Well, he's not shooting, mate. He's not shooting. I've seen lots of stuff going around, but his shot volume just isn't there. And if he's going to play as like the main focal number 9, like his shot volume has to be there. He was a much better asset at Brighton when Welbeck played in front of him. Shock horror, he's a much better asset at Chelsea when someone plays in front of him.
Well, he in effect, he makes Enzo the Welbeck. Like he's not as good an asset as Enzo. Enzo's the guy that ends up in front of him. Enzo's the guy that ends up nodding the goal in and doing those things because Pedro's quite unconventional and doesn't stay in there. Enzo's actually making all the runs. Like I just think Enzo's comfortably the better pick if you're looking at someone at Chelsea.
And then I guess the last one really is just Everton Palace. So if you looked at this, like you couldn't. Palace are unbeaten in 18 games. Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like the market's ever going to catch up, or are they just going to constantly believe that they're not as good as they are? Or is it
probably?
I think there's still going to be a time. There's still going to be a bit of time where markets won't catch up with this. I know Everton have improved, but they haven't improved. But I'd still expect Palace now. They rested a bunch of players today. I didn't see the final score, but
Saar got rested.
Saar definitely got rested.
And then obviously we've also got Mateta, and congrats to Mateta getting called up to the France squad. Like
That's
that's a big
a
old
tough
deal.
squad. That's a tough
It's a
squad.
tough squad. Really pleased for him. They won 2-0 in the end, and
Of course they did.
obviously,
Oh, and they were down to 10 men.
and and Saka got sent off. So yeah, Salah came on for I don't know how many more minutes, but at some point in the second half, after they were 2-0 up,
69.
he came on for 69 minutes. So like, played the last 20 minutes. Mateta played the first half. They are still continually rolling out their centre backs every game, and you're like, oh, I expected them to do a bit more rotation with a new guy, but
is it more because actually like the energy required across the three is not as strenuous as maybe playing a two, right? So like they don't work. They maybe just not that they don't work as hard, but they don't have to work as hard.
Do you mean centre backs that don't get injured every week?
That's what
weird.
Happens.
Is that good management?
Good management.
God, we sound so.
They've got
how do we
Europe
sound
as well?
so? I can't believe those Forest guys said that I was entitled when there's me and you berating Ange every week who got us a Europa League. Well, anyway, let's do our teams. Come on, we're done.
Go right. We'll start with me then.
What you're saying about Everton and Palace? I think you're fine to play whichever guys you've got in it, because I think you're almost guaranteed DEFCON on those guys, and there's a chance for a clean. So I think if you have them, they're a good play this week.
Yeah, I mean, again, it is interesting that Glasner rotated, because you kind of like, I think we were all thinking like, how would Palace manage this Thursday Sunday job? And now we're going to see it, and we've already seen that they've, significant rotation. He made subs during the game to like limit the amount of time he spent on the pitch. Like Mateta comes off a half time basically, and so he's managed the team well.
It's just magical. It's hard not to think anything else. But let me ask you one question before you read your team out. If you were somebody that's, say, for example, already played your wild card or not already played their wild card, and they were looking to make a defender transfer this week, even if Arteta says he's fine for Gabriel, or he says something like, maybe we'll see, when would it become a position if you were making a transfer this week that you would transfer Gabriel in over Senesi this week?
I think that's a relatively easy one to answer, because I don't think, and I think it's situational, because I don't think anybody can just make a transfer to Gabriel without making another move.
Virgil. So, like, for example, our mate Danny's got Virgil, and I know he was planning to do Virgil to. I think he's already got Senesi, so he's fine in that situation. But Virgil to Gabriel, for example, was something he was thinking about. Now, if he didn't have Senesi, who's the bigger priority this week? I think it's probably. If I had it again, like if I didn't play my wild card and I hadn't already brought Gabriel in and I was just making one transfer this week, I actually think I'd bring Senesi in before I bring Gabriel in this week.
I'm not sure I would do that.
Muniz is out. Jimenez is like late test.
I mean, like
games tomorrow night.
If Gabriel is, let's say Arteta says he's fine, then Gabriel. If it's a we'll see, then okay, fine. But just the fixtures for Gabriel are too good. And then you've got this set piece. Like, the players are still the same players. So West Ham are still poor at set pieces. I would still lean into that. Arsenal are still the best team at set pieces. I would lean into that. They've got...
It's still West Ham and set pieces.
It's still West Ham and set pieces, yeah. Well, yeah, it's still West Ham and set pieces, even under Nuno. Like, unless he's literally like just changed that. I mean, I can't remember. Do we know what Forest's numbers were like from set pieces versus everybody else last year?
I mean, they were okay. Both Murillo and Milinkovic were both fine, but it's Friday night, isn't it? It's first game of the game week. Going in this week without Senesi tomorrow night, you're crapping it.
Yeah,
you're crapping it. Anyway, go your team.
Oh yeah, wrong one. My team. Okay, so yeah, at the moment I haven't made any moves at all. So I've got 2 transfers, probably rolling to 3. Raya in goal.
I didn't realise this, by the way. You've actually already got 2 transfers, so you'll have 3 next week.
Yeah, 3 next week.
Oh, that's strong.
3 next week. Although I'm short of, I'm going to say I'm short of an Arsenal player this week, really. But Raya in goal, Romero, who I expect to be fine, but we'll wait. I think Frank will be quite open about whether the captain's fit, because it'll be the first question, right? Like it'll be the first question from every journalist.
100%.
How's Kuti? Oh, he's fine. Oh, good, perfect. So Senesi against Fulham, perfect. Tarkovsky against Palace. Palace play tonight, obviously, as we know. So I feel that's good. As I say,
Right.
Alderete and Goodmanson, I'll swap them around, I think. But yeah, that's my 5. And then midfield, Reinders, Saka, Bruno, Bumo, and Enzo. Still happy with all of that.
It's like a free hit team, this, mate. This is more than fine.
Haaland, captain, Richarlison as well. So yeah, Richarlison's one I don't love as much. Like it was always going to happen. I was always going to like fall in love with it last week and then not really like it as much the week after. Do you think there's do you think there's a world that I could go to? I could just play Thiago instead, or do I just?
I think in your position, I would shift Goodmanson up one above Alderete, because I think what you're looking at there, I think if Richarlison don't play, they'll clean. I think we need him that badly. So I think I would almost be that, well, if somehow Richarlison, because Richarlison's your only worry there, that somehow just doesn't turn up. But I don't even see that happening, because I think at worst he plays the last 20 minutes. So I don't really see a world in which you don't have all your 11 turn up, other than potentially Romero. But I do think I would, as much as it's against Tottenham, I still think I would play Goodmanson. Look, Man United are expected to score 2 goals. You've got double attack. You don't want any points from Alderete.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
So Alderete for me would be your last guy on the bench, and make a choice between Thiago at home to Man City, who are still conceding. We saw it, we've seen it regularly. They conceded again, in midweek. Yeah, maybe it's Thiago sits in front of it, but obviously you've got to have a Romero plan. I would have Goodmanson above Alderete.
Yeah, pretty simple for me. No real thoughts needed. Did the thinking last week, and happy enough for next week. Really,
if you've got free transfers, and effectively across Bruno, Bumo, and Richarlison, you end up with what, 20 odd million, 25, 26 million quid.
What is it? 9, 17, 23, 23, 24.
Then, and free transfers.
Free transfers into bench boost next week.
Into bench boost. So potentially you could do, I mean, double West Ham could suddenly be on the menu. I don't think you're going to get a lot of reads. I don't think you're going to get a lot of reads from it against Arsenal. But Pack and Bowen are there for you if you need to for that, and more.
Yeah.
Plenty more. Alderete, only thing that I was like a little worried about is obviously he's Paraguayan. So that they've got loads of defenders, haven't they? And they go and play Korea and Japan during the international break. But it finishes on the Tuesday, and they play Saturday. Feels all right.
Fine. He'll be home by Wednesday night.
Feels all right. It's just again, when you're sort of sitting in your transfers, there could be a world where you're like, Alderete. If I want to play bench boost, Alderete might be a problem for me.
I'm just wondering. I'm going into time zones now in my brain, because it's more difficult if they're playing in Paraguay because they're behind. So actually, it's later on in the week. But if you're in Korea and Japan, you're actually ahead, right? So it's a midday kickoff. It's a midday kickoff.
So it's like done by 2 o'clock,
3 in the morning for us.
Yeah. If he flies Tuesday afternoon, then he could have a rest day Wednesday. Be back, back at training Thursday. Thanks very much. And they're home against Wolves, so that's also important. So I don't expect it to be an issue, but it's just one to monitor, I think, during the international break.
Okay, I will move on to your team, mate.
Wildcard's in. So Pope's in goal. I've been really comfortable on Pope. Just that Arsenal game, obviously, he was on 40. He was on 40 bonus before they scored. And it made me look at the bonus, what I tend to look at with the keepers, because keepers bonus is still relevant. It's the only place where it's relevant now, because the rest of it, it's probably something for us to talk about in the international break. Is like, is bonus points dead? Like, do anyone care anymore? Is
the whole premise of the pod is done. We're done.
Yeah.
Now we moved on.
But Pope in goal comfortably outscores the rest of the defence on baseline, which means if they clean, he's in the equation. Then Gabriel, Senesi, and Big Dan Burn is in. Richards and Rodon are my other two. Gordon, Semenyo, Saka, Sarr, Reinders is the five-man midfield. And then Haaland and Gyökeres. And then my other little man on the bench, who you are a big fan of, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
No comment.
No comment. The thing is, I want a bench boost in game week 8. I'm going to deliberately hedge because I will have Dubravka and Calvert-Lewin on my bench boost. How do you like that, apples? How do you like them apples? I will have my keeper versus my attacking outfielder on my bench boost.
Well, I mean, just be very happy you're going to get clean sheet points then, mate, to be honest. Well done.
Guaranteed. What I'm thinking is every 3 shots that Dominic Calvert-Lewin misses, I gain a point on my bench boost.
That's
cinema.
That's the best way to do it. And to be fair, out of all the ways you've tried to explain that to me, that's the best way.
Is if he misses 3 shots, because he's getting 3 shots every game. Like there's literally only like, was it Haaland and one other person? I can't remember who it was, but there's 2 other people that have had more big chances. I think it was Semenyo and Haaland. The only people who have had more big chances per game than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And I'm like, wow, keep missing those shots in the box, Dominic. You're going to get my Dubravka points one way or another. But if he scores, I'll get Dominic Calvert-Lewin points. It's if they manage to get 12 points between them, any which way they get them, my bench boost is a success. That's my theory. That's my theory.
Fine. Let's just don't play him this week, please.
And then Big Joe Rodon, if he gets the clean against Burnley, we're laughing. It's obviously a worry that DCL could get injured. It's obviously a little worry. It happens.
Yeah. The fact that he's shit is not an issue, but the fact that he might get injured.
Will he break? Yeah. Because you've got a little international break window. It's like he's got to stay fit. He's not doing anything,
is he? He's sitting at home.
He could get injured staying at home. He could easily get injured. So look, he's got 2 weeks and 1 game to stay fit. That's all it needs from it. I'd like him in game week 9 as well. I'd really like, because I've got Salah and Richards. Salah and Richards are away at Arsenal after a European game when we get back in game week 9.
Yeah.
So ideally, I want Calvert-Lewin and Richards, who are home to West Ham in game week 9, to play then as well. So yeah, if Burn goes left back, we talked about it. Is he going to be DEFCON? No, but we're trying to hopefully get a little bit more. I think Hall will play the odd game. I think I might get more lucky, potentially. What if he plays Trippier in the midweeks in Europe and he plays Hall at left back and then Burn stays at centre back and they work something out at right back? Don't know. We'll see how they play it, but either way, it's quite funny having Big Dan Burn. Good
team, this, mate. I actually looked at this team. I was like, that's a really nice team. I like it a lot, actually. I like
the 19 million. Thank you very much, sir. The 19 million of Saka and Gyökeres means if there's a way in which I think, or even if it just gets to game week 12, and I want to try and get out, then you've got almost like a Paqueta and Paqueta it wouldn't be. It'd have to be another or non-playing striker to get Salah back in, but we'll work that out later. I'm pleased that I've got at least a couple of big guys.
I was just going to bring this up very quick.
Bit sad about Eze though. still a bit sad about Noeze because I really do think he's on it.
I think fabulous open play, but all the bits around it that you want from your midfielder is not quite there.
Yeah.
Just not available to him. Like he was on pens, he's no longer on pens. He was on corners, he's no longer on corners. Like he's not going to pick up defensive points. He might score. He's not as relied upon either, right? When he was, it was him, Sarr, and Mateta. Like, so he will still score goals, but maybe not at the frequency. Free kicks like Declan Rice is just there, right? So, you just pull rank and whatever. The interesting thing
Declan Rice is a problem. Is a problem. Declan Rice is a problem.
Interesting thing, I think I just brought this up. This is game week 7 projected goals, goal scorers. Haaland, Gyökeres obviously top of this. Interesting, like Saka, Gordon, real close. Voltemada as well, right up there. Hilarious. Salah is at number 9, 0.43.
Behind Evan Nilsson, who's done nothing.
Yeah, and Sesko as well. And Bruno's only at 0.39, and ahead of Bruno is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, we're just so right. So you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin on your bench, 0.42, and I've got Richarlison, 0.36 in my starting lineup. Perfect.
Salah's quite low. Semenyo, I don't know if you noticed this, but even when you get to the second page, I don't think I saw Semenyo's name.
I haven't got the second page here.
Yeah. I'm sure I looked at the second page and I was like, where's Semenyo? He's not even there. So, yeah. I feel really comfortable as it stands. I mean, you've got to be actually in a way, haven't you? I thought about it. I was like, well, I changed by Saturday, but I'm quite glad that I just lock in Friday night and be like, that's it. But
yeah,
it's going to have to take something in the pressers to change it. If there's some doubt on Gabriel, like we will see, I suspect I'll keep Gabriel because I'm more than happy to play Richards. Just like, Richards, Tarko, either of those guys, I think they're really good plays this week. But if there's we need to manage him, we need to do something, maybe we might take him out so he doesn't go away on international breaks. I think I'll start getting really tempted to just go Timber because I just think, like you said, it's still a massively up.
Yeah,
it's like a massive game for in terms of what it could land you.
Yeah. We had a super chat earlier. I said to Ishan that we would obviously we'd read it out because it's a super chat, but we were so in the zone that I thought I would. Have you moved, mate? Have you frozen?
Oh, I haven't frozen in my head, but I've definitely frozen. Am I back?
There we go. You're back.
My God,
I thought you were just deep in thought there for a second. No, so Ishan,
it was more than that. It was quite intense. It was quite an intense
like looking across the screen at me. It was like,
it actually got like I was looking right at you. Go on, mate.
Ishan says Pope, Roofs, Saka, Voltemada, or Raya, Dubravka, Cunha, and Ollie Watkins.
What?
I think I'd pick the first one.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time staring at the Pope and Roofs combo.
What a wild revelation that was, actually, by the way, between us, is that we managed to figure out that two teams in the same part of the country, basically not the same city, it's not the same city, but close enough that police have to think about it, rotate every single week, which we've known since the middle of June. Then everyone kept reposting it and kept crediting us for the information like it's some kind of
enjoyed that. like Callie said it, like courtesy of Above Average, like we come to it like a look at this when actually we just stumbled upon it whilst looking at stuff.
Well, yeah, and then Olympian tweeted it out, and somebody below that went, "Oh, how dare you not give credit to Above Average FPL for this?" I'm like, mate, these are the fixtures. We can't take credit for the fixtures that have been in place since June.
I wouldn't have seen that. I've definitely muted Olympian on his fucking jet ski. I
got tagged in a reply. That's why I saw it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Jaddy then said the similar thing of credited it, but Praz commented back and he was like, "Why wouldn't you just get Dub?" And I was like, "Let me just check," because I went on the first bit of thinking there's 6 times in like the next 20 odd weeks or 24 weeks, I think I counted up, that I would play Rose over Pope. And then I was like, how many of those 6 would I play dub?
Yeah.
3 of them. 3 of them I would. And then one of them was quite luxurious. It was like West Ham and Brighton in the same week, and I'd go Rose over. But that's not a massive, like, oh my God, look how different those ones are. And so, yeah, I was like, actually, probably it's 2. And is that then worth 500,000? I really like the roast pick. I really enjoy it, but actually 500,000 is quite a lot of money when it's completely dead money. The number of time, every single time when you're making a transfer and you're like, I'm 0.2 short, I'm 0.3 short, I'm doing this, you're going to think, fuck, I've got that money tied up in that. As always, Praz, the font of wisdom, says something and I'm like, let me just go check that. Oh, yes, you're right. I think he thought I was annoyed with him at the time. He was like, "You're annoyed with me," and I was like, "No, I'm not annoyed with you. You're always right, you bastard." He's always right.
He's always right, guys.
That's why he's so good.
Yeah, indeed, he is too good, too good. Right, I think we're done. I think we're all good. I think an hour and with a tomorrow night deadline, I think that's important as well. So remember, tomorrow night deadline.
Short turnaround.
Short turnaround. So make sure your teams are all locked in before the deadline tomorrow. Shout out to and I'm just going to check notes, 481 people that are in at the moment, only 114 likes. Do better than that. That would be great. And yeah, if you're listening back on podcast, if you're watching back on YouTube, drop the like, drop the subscribe, do all the good stuff. Join us on Patreon. Shout out to Never Say Die. I'm pretty jealous of your wildcard picks, mate, to be honest. So we will.
I came away from last weekend thinking I liked your wildcard. So there you go.
There we go.
We'll mutual handshake. Someone pointed out just as we started this that we are really, really close to 11,000 subs. So it's 10.9. It ain't far off. You're going to get the exact numbers. You're not going to allow me to just say 10.9.
Absolutely not. No.
Do we give away a mug on every 1,000?
Well, we still need to give away something for 10. And I want to do something like give away like a pair of Premier League tickets or something like that. We can just do that.
Oh, we're getting really fancy.
It's 10,
we're
10K,
definitely giving away prizes in every 1,000. So anything you can do to help us, retweets, all that stuff, especially when it's a short turnaround, we very much appreciate it.
Yeah, cool. Right, good luck for Gameweek 7, and we will catch you on Sunday night, I guess. Sounds good, man.
5 games on Sunday, 4 of which are at 2:00.
Perfect. Look forward to reviewing those. Take care, guys.
Living the dream.
Cheers, mate.